Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
So it's a very good day to remember that we also have eternal spiritual bodies, and we are these souls that also are in the process of this. We gave the example. Now we had already very nice meditations about it this whole week, and thank you, Gurudev. You gave so many inspirations into our hearts, and I hope also we can have your darshan today again. And Tarun Baba, thank you also for being there, helping us, inspiring us all the time. Yes, you do. And all. I don't know who is there. I didn't check it yet. But who is there? I bow down to you. And Uddhava and all great souls. Please help us so we can make relish to Gurudev and to Swamini and all Vaishnavas.
Oh, now it's gone. Just a nice picture. So we also need another body to serve properly.
Please show again.
Nicely.
This is the moment he came out of the grave. There was 2 angels with him, guiding. You can see?
Yeah, more.
Very shiny, beautiful.
Try it. Wow. Very yeah.
Jai Radhe.
So now today we are also listening from our dear Raghunath Das Goswami, by the mercy of all Vaishnavas, especially also Ananda Das Babaji Maharaj, meditating how we also can have our spiritual identities, realizations, and eternal bodies. We are reading verse 23. Is all the translations is done? Yes. I think we only have Japanese translation and German translation, right? Radhe Radhe, Jainanda Maharaj, Dhanyavad.
Gora Sundara Suniti Didi.
Jai Gopinath, Jai Sachibaya, Jai Gurudev. O beloved of the Prince of Braj, when will this person, after washing your lotus feet, lovingly braid your hair with the beautiful fine garlands made by the florist girl Narmada? O beloved of the Prince of Braj, when will this person, after washing your lotus feet, lovingly braid your hair with the beautiful fine garlands made by the florist girl Narmada? Notes. In his Svarup Avesh, Sri Raghunath Das has dried off Srimati's limbs after her bath and dressed her. Then, when that vision leaves him, he cries and rolls on the bank of Sri Radhakund, saying, when will you fulfill the long-standing aspirations of this wretch, of this fallen soul, by giving me my desired service? His heart melts for want of direct personal service. Then again, humility dwells up in his heart, and understanding his unworthiness, he begins to weep again. Still, he cannot give up hoping when he remembers the compassion of his beloved deity. His heart is illuminated by the light of hope. This hope is the nectar that revives the sadhaka who is suffering the pangs of separation. Later on in this purport also Baba is explaining what is this hope. And I just love it how he is saying that hope is what keeps the practicing devotee alive. We see that Raghunath Das Goswami is going through different feelings. On the one hand, he is asking, when will I get my service? And on the other hand, he feels, crying, feeling unworthy. So he is going between the different paths of his heart. But then again, when he understands the mercy of Srimati Radhika, he is again feeling hope, and this hope keeps him alive. This keeps him going. So Baba is quoting a verse of Stavamala of Srila Rupa Goswami's prayers. And he says, O destroyer of Agasur, the greatest souls like Shukadev, Ambarish and others have hardly been able to worship you. And when I hear about that, my heart, that is totally devoid of any devotion, feels pain. And that is again that pain that, my God, even Ambarish Maharaj, he was fasting the whole time. He was the exemplary devotee of Atmanivedanam. And Shukadev, he was, explaining the whole Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. They were so much full of desire and devotion, and they could hardly worship you. And where am I? I feel pain because, oh my God, is there any hope? But when I hear from the scriptures and the sages that the waves of your compassion are flowing towards everyone, from Lord Brahma down to the smallest and meaningless creatures, then the drops of nectarian hope cool off my heart and soothe it. Bah. That is this game of hope and pain. And Baba says, when the practicing devotee is immersed in remembrance of Shri Radha, in Smaran Nishta, he feels as if he directly serves her, and when he gives up that remembrance and returns to worldly thoughts, he feels as if he falls from heaven into a desert.
Yeah. We can see, Suniti, in this way that even the one who write the Vedas, he likes this direct connection and service. And we can see that the Vedas, actually, when we read the Vedas, they are speaking about the relationship between some beings, demigods, human beings, different relationship to the beloved deity, to the God, right? With Nishingadev and Prahlad, no? And so on and so on. But this cannot be the goal to speak about the relationship. The goal should be a relationship that we create with the Lord or our Ishtadev. That is what we are looking for, and that is also Vyasadeva is looking for, this direct relationship. And so in this case, we understand that walk on the crown of the Vedas means to create actually like our own part of the Vedas. We also are able to enter one relationship to our Ishtadev, like described in the Vedas. But as long as we only describe these relationships of others, I say this is second-hand devotee. We have to enter in a direct relationship between us and our Ishtadev. And this is possible by the mercy of Gurudev, of his guidance. Then we write our own part of the Vedas. Maybe this part is not for everyone usable, but it is important to us that we write our small part of the Vedas as a relationship between us and our goddess. I don't know, you understand this part, what I make. This is really personal. It is this description is one thing, and it's very helpful to us, so that their hope is there. If we read about the relationship here, about our Raghunath Das and Swamini, then that creates some hope in our heart that will be also possible in our situation, that we can follow his footsteps. But at one point, we will come to this place where he serves our Swamini, and then we can also see there is one more Manjari, Narmada. So that means he is not alone there. She works together with Narmada. That means there is a team. And same as if we are there entering, we are also in a team with our Gurudev, Guru Manjari. This is so beautiful to understand this, what is the meaning on the top of the Vedas, right? When we create our own chapter, we come and go in the relationship.
Radhe, this is very, very wonderful. Dandavats to all of you. Jai Gurudev. So nice. So sweet. I just wanted to add, you made two very, very wonderful points. First of all, we want to develop our own relationship. And you mentioned how, and this, I feel it's very important. This morning I was reading Prema Bhakti Chandrika, the verse Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Pakari Satma Bandho Mui Savadhana Mate. And I was thinking that in the year, I felt that me, myself personally, I neglected a little bit Guru in the last years and last months. So I read this again and again to come into this mood that actually, like you said right now, the service to Gurudev and the love for the lotus feet of Gurudev is really so important. And you said, that we can listen to many descriptions of many perfected sadhakas or siddhas and sadhakas, whatever, but we have to drive our own car, we have to fly our own plane. And I was remembering that this is only possible by the kripa of Sri Gurudev, that he is giving us. We can only develop this relationship, which is infused into our heart by Sri Gurudev, if we know our Sthayi Bhav. And this is the Alpha and the Omega. If we know our Sthayi Bhav, which is given and revealed by Sri Gurudev, then we can start, like you said, this own journey of our own relationship with Swamini. So this is so important. I encourage everyone to read this Baba's commentary on Sri Guru Charana Padma. This is such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful commentary, which is strengthening and supporting our faith in Guru. It's 2-3 pages but it's so full of quotes from the acharyas, how important it is, Guru Padashraya, this first step, this really first step into the umbrella of Sri Gurudev, and to desire that he will reveal to us, and even if we know it already, to strengthen our sthayi bhav, that we cannot go out of this. And every morning and every time when we remember this, that we know we are manjaris of Swamini. So this is what we are aspiring for, to really make a big foundation of this sthayi bhav.
Yes, very nice, Tarun Baba. And Baba is giving also a hint how we can get this, although, of course, we know everything is mercy. But Baba says here that the smarana nishta is important. The practicing devotee is immersed in remembering Shri Radhika. This immersion in remembering of Shri Radhika, or immersion of remembering Shri Gurudev, is giving this aliveness, this living feelings in my bhajan. Then the tears can come, and then, all the feelings can come that will give this intensity. Because
this immersion can only happen if we really, really hanker to know our own Swarup. If we know it, we should go deep into it. And if we don't yet know it, we should really, really hanker for that revelation, who we really are. Otherwise, the jiva cannot immerse it. It's only on the platform of the soul where we can immerse ourselves in the lila. But if we know ourselves, it's much easier to read this lila verses and to go into it. Like Baba says, when Raghunath Das Goswami is saying to us sadhakas, he has hope. So he is only saying that to us to teach us. He is a perfected. He's a siddha, so he is only saying that to inspire us, that we should never give up the hope to like you said, Suniti, this immersion can only take place if we know where we belong, if we know our parampara, if we know our Gurudev, our Guru Manjari, our setting, our seva, our dress, our age. So everyone should make this the heart's desire number one, to get this revelation from the lotus mouth of Gurudev.
May I also add something? Kukuk? Yep. Yesterday we read verse 11, and Gauranga worked out. And here
maybe
again,
you speak a little bit louder. So, Devi, that's a little bit
yes. Hello.
quiet.
Hello.
Yeah, it's just your voice.
Just my voice? Is okay? So yesterday we read in the Croatian class verse 11. And Gauranga worked out, and here here is the same aspect, that by this greed our heart is melting. And by melting the heart, our humility increase. And this is an ongoing process, melting the heart and humility. And then hope grows. But at first, with this greed, our heart is melting.
Oh, yeah, that's very good. Very good point. That point is also done here by Baba more and more. It's explained how this hope, as a first greed, then melting the heart, and then the humility or the prema will grow. And but he also mentioned this smara nishta, this firm faith in what we are doing, actually, when we are remembering, when we are practicing, to feel myself as a dasi, and hearing, and this is also, it is the process, it is valuable, it is doing the job, so to say. It will do the job, and I have to have a firm faith in it and not lose it when the result is not coming instantly.
Thank you.
One more thing we also read this week. I don't know, it was the Russian class maybe, with this pollen. You remember?
No, this was actually, the Russian class.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday also? Yes. And Today I had one man with his bees. He come in our garden and put some bees in the garden. And again, I remember this pollen. What is the meaning of pollen? So we read this verse that Swamini put her lotus feet on the head of Raghunath or Rati Manjari. And it is described as pollen. And to understand this verse nicely, we have to understand what the meaning of pollen is. This is not only it is the mercy of Radhika we absolutely need. In the flower, maybe for example a cherry tree, there are two parts in the flower. There is a male and a female part. And to growing the fruit, they need the connection. The female part need this pollen from the male part, from another flower, cherry flower. So,
Blossom, yeah.
Cherry blossom. This is the only way to grow a fruit. Without this touch of the beast legs, they are full of these pollens when they fly from flower to flower. Only then the fruit is coming. So we can understand what is the meaning behind this verse. The Manjari need this mercy of Swamini to grow from the flower to the ripe fruit, sweet. And this is very beautiful, and it's a deep meaning, and we have to understand what is the meaning of a pollen to understand this verse, actually, right? It is, otherwise the flower will not become the fruit. And so the Manjari, to become ripe, and maybe a new tree is coming, like we learned from Chaitanya. He gives the example of a tree. And the Manjari is the name of Manjari and Kinkari. It's a flower. So this is a very deep meaning. We can enter in this meditation about this. What is the meaning of the pollen coming from the lotus feet of our Swamini to our head? We are flowers, and we need her pollen on our head to become ripe, a fruit. It's so beautiful, and this is what we say: hope, fixed faith, and the mercy. It's so beautiful. These verses are all.
I would like also to thank Sudevi. This was a very wonderful point you were making. Hope and eagerness is very, very closely related, because if you are not eager, you have no hope. You know, eagerness brings about this hope, and reading the voice, the words of the Mahajans brings us hope. So these are very, very closely related. And also, I can speak for myself. If I am not humble, I am not eager, and then there is no hope. So humility, that all three, this is so nice. All three are connected: eagerness, hope, and humility. If you are not humble, you will not be eager, because then you are in Purusha mentality and you can never enter into Lopa. So we have to become humble, and we have to become eager, and then there is hope. If there is one cut in this triangle, we cannot advance in spiritual life. So primarily, I can speak for myself, and many others will realize this: humility is the first one, because without humility, this is the central verse of Mahaprabhu: Trinata piso nichana taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. Without humility, there can never be any lopa. So this is the work we have to do every day, like a stonemason is doing, the work to make an elephant out of a stone. We have to we have to do this every day, the humility, and then the eagerness comes. And if I am not, I can see, if I'm not humble, I am not eager. So everything, I don't care, then you are not in the right frame of consciousness. So these three things, so therefore I'm thankful for Sudevi. This is such a nice point. Humility, eagerness, and hope is very closely related.
Yes, if I may, I read on. It's the subject that continues now. Hope is what keeps that practicing devotee alive. He cannot do bhajan when he feels, I am not going to get it. That's the eagerness, right? But the hope for attainment makes a seat for himself in the heart of the devotee. So that was inspiring this morning. I heard also, I was so lucky to hear Satchinandan Bhaiya's sharing on Srimad Bhagavatam. And I want to share it with all of you because it was so beautiful. That one point about the hope that gave me a lot of hope is when he said, Srimati Radhika is very eager when it comes to the point that one devotee is trying to reach her, one dasi, and when she is, she has somehow noticed her endeavors, then she will keep her arms around the neck and not let that person go. Because remember, Satchinandan Bhaiya, you said that this morning, a few hours ago, that this is, in that regard, Srimati Radhika is very selfish. You said that she will not let go. If one devotee wants to reach her, she will also hold this devotee. Yeah, maybe you can. It was so beautiful. It gave me so much hope.
Even when one is thinking to go somewhere she doesn't like, where she wants this type of, this mood type of devotee near to her always. Because it's not only our, they are also pleased actually. Radharani also get pleasure. That's why she enjoys and she feels very nice. And that's why she needs this type of devotees around her. And once someone comes with full of heart, honestly, she never let go him or her. She never. The same thing with, means both are same with them. This came in the morning in my mind that it happens like this. Then why they know it, they aptakam, it is said in the Sanskrit, they aptakam atmaram. They no need to do all these things. But they do. Why? Because they love. Their core means centralization of their existence is based on love. They love devotee. They love their people a lot, more than we think. We try, but really from the beginning, they love Jiva all the time. We are separated, we come and then we practice. This is different. But they, from life to life, they are in love with us. They never that they don't him, they love her. It is not like that. They continuously loving. But Jiva Swabhav, the nature of Jiva, sometimes mistakes, and then again come on this mortal place all the time. Little mistake. It is like going on the mountain height, and your little mistake will make you fall down, and then again you have to start from zero. It's like this. So it happening. But once they don't leave them, they know. When the devotees are marked, many times Guru said, when they are marked, they are not nowhere, no separate. They are always there. So need to be marked actually. They are all trying to be marked with Srimati Radhika. That's
Beautiful.
It. Not much, because I don't
Wonderful. Very wonderful. Very, very wonderful.
Radhe Radhe.
Jai Uddhavji.
Jai Ho, everybody. Radhe. I'm like so often happens with me, I get many questions about the words. And these words, humility and worthiness and hope and eagerness, I find them difficult. Maybe others, they're clear, but for me, they're difficult because they're ego words, all of them. Humility in usual use is I'm nobody compared to some external measurement. Worthiness, I'm not worthy because of some external measurement. And what I feel like we need to understand in this context is that, for example, humility cannot mean I am not nothing. Humility cannot mean I am nothing. It must mean I am not measured by anything outside me. I understand that everything I am is from God.
Exactly.
So it's more of a realization of where my value, my worthiness comes from, and not sort of a measure of somebody external imposing on me. And
exactly.
Thank you, Baba. And in the same way, doesn't hope mean I hope that my hope will disappear because I will be? And eagerness means I hope my eagerness will disappear because then I will be with God. I will be God. That God will appear in myself, my ego will disappear. So that hope shouldn't be the hope to get some gift from outside, but to become the divine from inside, become the Manjari that I am internally. That's what hope has to mean. It can't be this material hope. And I guess it's so easy for us to associate that with material hope. It's external.
So nice, Vilapa. This was also the point I saw in this. When we can try to be, humility. Humble. We can try to be humble, but this is we have to try because we are not. For this, we have to try to be. It's not our nature, as long as we are identified with this material body and with the material ego. This point you made.
I completely understand.
For this, we need to come to the point of the soul level. In that moment, we reach the soul level. We leave this false ego. But this is not enough. This is Gurudev's teaching. We have to come from that soul level to our real self. And this is, in our case, it's a Manjari. And then this humility become our nature, right? It is our nature. So that we know from that moment on, we don't need to try to be humble. This is our nature. And if we are really the Manjaris of Swamini, actually we are her servants. So what is the meaning? We are the servants of love, of the source of love. So who can be in his nature more humble than one who is serving the love? Then it's our nature. We not have to try to be humble. We are.
I completely understand, Udavji, your predicament, because this humility has nothing to do with the earthly, mundane humility that we are worthless, that we are the last person, the worst person, blah, blah, blah. No. But I want to say also something else. First of all, humility in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, humility means only one thing. You let go of the reins. You are not the doer, and you know that you are an instrument. So this is real humility, and this is very, very worthy because the Manjaris, you can see the Manjaris, many times it's written Manjaris have pride. So how can this go together? That Manjaris are pride, but we need to be humble. So that is very easy to resolve because, first of all, humility means you know that you are not the doer and you are always in anugatya of those who are teaching you, like Guru Manjari, like your sisters and brothers. It has nothing to do with being in the mundane world, yet you're worthless. You are nothing. Because then comes the point, Manjaris are so important to Swamini, and they know that. That is their whole worthiness, to be an instrument in the divine couple's lila. So their playing part in this lila is so worthy, and they know that. But they know that they are not doing this for themselves. You know, they have the less ego of all. Prabhupada Saraswati is writing in Vrindavan Mahimamrita, they have so less ego, they don't even want to enjoy with the Lord. They do everything for Swamini. So this is their real glory, and this is their pride. We cannot compare these terms in the mundane stuff. Pride in the mundane world is you are proud of your achievements. But pride in the spiritual world is to be an instrument that something can be achieved. It is a very big difference. You know, when you in the mundane world, the businessman, he wants to make $1 million. But the manjaris, they are the instrument that this $1 million is made. Not that they make this $1 million. You know what I mean? So they are the instrument of this lila. And also you have to remember the eagerness. I understand what you mean, but honestly speaking, the eagerness and the lopa will never disappear. This we have to be very conscious, because we can read many, many times that the manjaris, the eagerness of the manjaris, it will never be like Brahmin. Like now we are satisfied and everything is finished, all is one and everything is one and we are peaceful. It will never be the case. The manjaris, even if we achieve siddhi, even if we achieve perfection, the eagerness will never go away. Gurudev may also please say something to this. The eagerness will never go away. The manjaris will always have the feeling that they are not doing enough. And in that is the bliss. In the material world, you get frustrated because you never come to a point where everything is perfect. But in the spiritual world, the manjaris are always doing this, that they are always eager. There is no meaning of, okay, now I sit down and rest. It's not there. So this eagerness will never leave. So don't think that, okay, when I realize myself, the eagerness is gone. No, then the real eagerness will start. So these are, I think, essential differences between these two spheres, in the material world and in the spiritual world. So loba is a spiritual thing. It will never, never go away. And this is nice. You see, Raghunath Das Goswami is always praying for direct darshan of Swamini. You know, he has it, but he's still praying for it. This is for our mind. We cannot understand this. Our mind is conditioned by time and place and chronological. You know, we go from A to B to C and time runs, but in the spiritual world, there is no time. There is eternal presence. So our eagerness in the heart of the manjaris, it will never go away.
Shri Radha.
Jai Ho!
Gurudev, can I say something to tickle you also a bit? Thank you so much. There's, I think, such important concepts for us bhaktas who are trying to practice this path. I was just feeling when I was listening now to Udavaji's question and the beautiful response of Gaura Sundar and Darun, I felt that the key word here is mercy. Once we understand the concept of mercy, then this humility, this makes totally sense. Because we understand that this is really only the path of mercy that this is working in us, you know. There's not my own input. It's like I'm receiving, as Tarun said, look, I'm not the doer anymore. It happens to me. And then real humility comes, you know. The more bhajan, the more prema, the more bhakti, the more humility comes, because the more the understanding comes, no, Gurudev, that this is the path of mercy only. This is the path of my Gurudev, my Guru Parampara who's giving me this. So it's actually from inside to outside, right, Gurudev? From Antaranga to Bhairanga, this happens. First, the inside revelation comes. Then externally, I will also have the symptoms of humility, of endeavor, of greed. But actually, it will happen first inside through the path of mercy.
And this gives greed more in our life. Greedy. Mercy when comes, humility comes, and that is a greed. More and more to receive that mercy. Mercy to receive, right? When receiving, then we want to not to only to be a sadhaka. We don't want to be, even the perfect Siddha Purush say, I am a sadhaka. Because they want to be always in the mercy of that. Real teacher, they want to be only student, to learn with his teacher. That is mercy receiving way. That way, what happens? Automatic humility comes and greed comes. So Siddha, you watch, go to the Siddha Purush, they will say, I'm learning, I don't know anything. Go to a higher saintly person, they will say. They will never say that they are Siddha. But the person who took the shelter, they realize it. Because they receive mercy from the Raj.
May I just say one thing to Uddhava? Sorry. Suniti, is it okay if I say just one more thing for Uddhava?
Rani, you don't have to ask me.
Uddhavaji, you see, to boggle your mind a little bit more, you see that everyone is looking for humility. And the manjaris are the utmost expression of humility. But let me give you an example how our mind cannot really understand this. First of all, they are the perfect, Kingaris are perfectly humble, but they are in the position when Krishna is coming to them and asking to be with Swamini, they are not humble at all. They immediately can say, no, you cannot enter. So how can we, to do this together? First of all, they are humility personified. But on the other hand, they can say, no, you cannot enter this kunja to Krishna, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the only reason which combines those two things is only one thing. Everything they do for Swamini. So this is the only, they are not pride, and they are not, in the mundane world, humility means, oh, I can't do anything. I am so shy. I can't do anything. I'm worthless. But this is not the spiritual humility. The manjaris can clearly say to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are not allowed here to enter. Imagine that. And they only do this because they perfectly know I'm an instrument of Swamini.
Thank you.
I would like to add something. Because, may I? Because this Webster says that humble means lacking all signs of pride, aggressiveness, or self-assertiveness. So it is not only this Catholic understanding of being nothing. It's perhaps I do have to have a source that I can understand that my pride, I can give up my pride. I can give up my aggressiveness. I give up my self-assertiveness.
Well, yes, I think what I learned from this exchange is that humility is not the matter of reducing pride to zero. It's a matter of realizing that I belong to someone else, to something else.
Yes.
And I have to say, Tarun Bhaiya, that to how grateful I am that you boggle my mind, because the moment I start saying I've got it all understood, then I'm a lost soul. Radhe.
Gurudev, Tarun, could I add something to what you just said about this pride of the Dasi?
Why you ask me, man? You are my superior.
No. You're my inspiration, my whole life. Without you, where would I be today? There is this beautiful verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Radhika Dasi Yadi Hoya Sikre Mile Gokulakan. When I have this pride to be a Dasi Radharani, then I will attain also Gokul's Kana. But it doesn't mean that I will attain him. I will face him, and I can actually tell him, as you said, Tarun Baba, as a Dasi, I can really tell Mohan, now you cannot come here. Or now step to the side, you're not capable of doing this seva. So that means that facing the Supreme without any awe and reverence happens when we are totally loyal to our Swamini, when we have this pride. And this is what you just said, and I just felt this verse actually really also kind of nails it.
You're beautiful.
This is what we need to develop, no?
And you know, Sudevi was giving a very, very good point. She was saying self-assertiveness. So this is the whole thing. This Webster dictionary, whatever. So this is the whole thing. Self-assertiveness. The humility stands and falls. Self-assertiveness means we, like Gurudev is always saying, we have to know our real self. And if we know our real self, then we can be genuinely humble. Everything else but the spiritual self is self-assertiveness, and this is the wrong humility.
Oh, let's change the word. It's not self-assertiveness, it's soul assertiveness.
Gurudev, you wanted to say?
Yes, Gurudev, you wanted to say?
That this Radha Dasi Hoy Abhiman, this word is explanation like this. Dasi Abhiman. Dasi Abhiman makes in Sarupa Vish. And when this Abhiman is growing, that is the mercy. It should grow. Radha Dasi Hoy Abhiman. Or 24/7 we have to think and live in that feeling. Then false ego cannot come there. Mercy flow there. That's only one thing to understand.
Yeah.
Radha Dasi Hoy Abhiman. Radha Dasi Hoy Abhiman. Nothing can come there. Thank you.
So the soul is not the soul and then decides to be a servant. It's the nature of the soul to serve, to be dasi, which is why the same thing as saying that the soul is made of love. It's not that the soul exists and then maybe it's a good idea to love and serve. No, the soul is already giving. Yeah.
There's this verse, Nityaya Krishna Das, the quality of the soul is to be part and parcel of the Supreme Soul and always in the function of a servant. So Gurudev, so wonderful. Thank you. This word, Abhiman is such a deep word. You know, what means Abhiman? Abhiman means identification. And as soon as we identify with the spiritual body, that is the whole point. This Abhiman must be Kinkari Abhiman, like Gurudev just wonderfully said. Abhiman is that what the Webster dictionary says. The self-assertiveness is our Kinkari, is our Manjari Swarup. That is the real assertiveness, and that is the real Abhiman.
Jai Shri Radhe. Thank you all. If you don't mind, I will continue reading. Hope is what keeps that practicing devotee alive. He cannot do bhajan when he feels I'm not going to get it. Hope for attainment makes a seat in the heart of the devotee. Uddhava Das hopes to see the Yugala Kishore with their Sakhis. And just by the way, I was thinking also that this hope is Srimati Radhika. She is hope. She is hope for Mohan, right? So she is also our hope. She is the hope of hope. So, feeling this, I love this sentence. The hope for attainment makes a seat for herself, in this case, in the heart of the devotee. So when Srimati Radhika makes a seat in the heart of our, in our hearts, then there will always be hope, because she has taken over. When meditation becomes very deep, visions start coming. Although Goswamis are eternal associates of the Lord, they still relish the flavors of sadhana, calling out and lamenting, "Ha Swamini, be merciful to me and take me into the kingdom of devotional service." This is what you mentioned, Gurudev, no? That the self-realized souls, they always pray for the mercy, and they never say, ask me, I know it all. They say, be merciful and take me into the kingdom of devotional service. Then Raghunath's mind and heart return to the kingdom of transcendental pastimes as he gets a vision of his next service. In his spiritual identity as Tulasi Manjari, Sri Raghunath takes Swamini into the dressing room and washes her lotus feet again, before she starts drying Swamini's wet hair by squeezing it in a white cloth and perfuming it with fragrant aguru incense. How expert she is in that service. Upasana means staying close by. Srila Narottam Das Thakur sings, Radha Krishna Sevo Mui Jivane Marane Tara Stane Tara Lila Dekho Ratri Dine Ye Stane Ye Lila Kore Yugala Kishore Sakira Sangini Hoya Tai Hao Bora. I serve Radha and Krishna in life or in death, and I look at their playgrounds and their pastimes day and night. Wherever the adolescent young couple performs their pastimes, I will be as a companion of the Sakhis. When a devotee is fully absorbed in Smaran, it is as if he directly serves the divine couple. Smaran means mental association, inner association. A Brahmana from Pratishthanapura burned his finger after sticking it in an offering of hot sweet rice, kshir, which he had just cooked in his meditation. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami got physically diagnosed indigestion from overeating in his meditation. Sri Krishnadas Babaji from Govardhan broke a bottle of oil in his meditation, and all the people that lived at Manasi Ganga could actually smell it. And the body and clothes of Srila Madhusudan Das Babaji of Soyakund were covered with colored powder after he had mentally played holy with Radha and Mohan. These examples show the miraculous transcendental power of devotion. If devotion is false, then what is real? Devotion is a portion of the Lord's innate energy, Svarup Shakti. Just as devotees have spiritual discussions with each other.
Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Gurudev.
Read this line again.
Yes.
Devotion.
Devotion is a portion of the Lord's innate energy, Svarup Shakti.
Lord energy, Sarup Shakti. Devotion is Lord energy, Sarup Shakti. Explain this.
Oh, Gurudev.
Yeah, on this point.
Yes. So devotion is Srimati Radhika herself. Krishna is actually giving devotion, right? We have heard this before. When he sees that the soul is coming close and want to come in his service, then he gives buddhi yogam tam. He gives the intelligence how to come to him. And that means, actually, now Krishna is saying, Srimati Radhika, she is yours. She is getting now, the soul gets now, when she has realized that she is a feminine she gets the possibility to serve and learn in the Swarup Shakti, in the guidance of Srimati Radhika. And that's why even also when Krishna is saying that the soul wants to go, back to their spiritual identity or their, service attitude, he will give them to Srimati Radhika's care. Right, Arun Baba?
Yes, very wonderful. Wonderful. The Jiva is Tatastha Shakti, and the Bhakti comes only from the lotus feet of Swamini. Bhakti is a combination of Samvit, knowledge, and Ladini, bliss. So this combination of Ladini Shakti and Samvit Shakti makes Bhakti. So we know that Ladini Shakti is the primary force of everything. So Ladini Shakti is the primary force in Bhakti also, because without Ladini Shakti, we only have Samvit, and Samvit means only I know. So this is Aham Brahmasmi, I know this, but without Ladini Shakti, there is no exchange, no relationship, and no happiness and no bliss. So for a devotee, for a sadhaka of Manjari path, Ladini Shakti means exchange. We have to have an exchange with Swamini and with Krishna. Otherwise, it is not Bhakti. And here Baba is making the point that Bhakti as innate energy from the Lord, Swarupa Shakti, he means that this energy is coming into the heart of the Jiva by the Bhakti Lata Beach given by Gurudev. So here this is very important. There's nothing which we can gain with our own efforts. It only comes by the mercy of someone who has this Bhakti in his own heart and can give it to us. So this is very important also to see this. And Ladini Shakti is the primary power in this Bhakti, because without happiness, without making Swamini and Krishna happy, there is no Bhakti.
Is giving our Sarupa to be a devotion through Gurudev. So Sarup Shakti and Ladini Shakti, she knows without your Sarup, you cannot do devotion. Till your Sarup Shakti is not grown, devotion is external. Devotion moves from Sarup to Sarup Shakti.
Jai.
Wonderful, Gurudev. Yes.
This is the same with humbleness, Gurudev, what I can feel, that we cannot create humbleness, or we cannot create to be devoted. It is a gift. It's giving by Gurudev and Swamini.
Prabhupada also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 10:10, this is the final goal of our life. It takes time. Slow to realize it and live in the mercy. That takes time. And without Sarup Shakti is no Bhakti. And that Bhakti is coming by mercy, grace. That is mercy. That is come in our life.
That is already the mercy. It's not my doing, Gurudev.
But is it not... Sorry.
Yes, Uddhavji.
Thank you. Is it not what does it mean when Gurudev says it's a realization? This means, in my ears, that all jivas are bhaktas in waiting. We're all potential bhaktas. And mercy means not getting devotion from outside, but uncovering it in our own hearts, taking away the blockages, taking away the material coverings. This is what the mercy means. So I think that this devotion, to answer the Gurudev's first question, devotion is love. And love is, like Tarun Baba said, Shakti. But this energy is fundamental. It's the energy that opens our eyes. It's the energy that makes our heart beat. It's the energy that makes our cells grow in our body. But the higher level of energy, of loving devotion towards God, this is for most people covered and needs mercy to be uncovered. But it's there in us. I think everyone in the world is a bhakta. Everyone. And only some of us are so fortunate to have realized it.
Now, Uddhavji, you have come to remind everyone.
I remind you hereby.
Gurudev is very happy with that.
Sleeping, he says sleeping. And because of this, he say Jeev Jago.
Can I say a little bit?
Jayananda Maharaji, finally, you give us your mercy.
No. You inspire me. So, Gurudev saying 10:10 of Bhagavad Gita. One should know that goal is Krishna. And when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed. And the ultimate goal is achieved. So actually, Jiva is Tatastha Shakti. And our conditioned soul is taking shelter of Maya, material energy. But to know Krishna is first thing. To know soul and relationship is the first thing. But without taking shelter of Radharani, internal potency, Swarupa Shakti, we cannot attain real bhakti. Uddhavaji said, we cannot attain real love. So this is 10:10 is very interesting. We have to finally take shelter of our Swamini, Srimati Radharani. Take shelter internal potency. That's Bhagavad Gita says, that is natural position of our jiva.
You see, natural position. Humility become our nature. Our natural Uddhava, our natural position is humility. But as long as we are sleeping, we are not humble. But in that moment, we awaken ourself, our real being. It becomes our nature, like Jayananda said, right? It's our natural position. Gurudev many times said.
Yeah, very nice.
Inside our real nature, behind all coverings, we are totally humble. We are full of love. And we are eternal.
Jayo.
Sorry, Jayananda ji.
This is what Sudhir was saying before as well. Yeah.
He became so enthusiastic, he could not hold himself.
Yes.
So Prabhupada said, he attained his normal condition in the pleasure giving potency.
Wow.
That's what David always stressing.
Normal position. In the pleasure giving potency.
Pleasure giving potency. Wow.
Gurudev, I'm still puzzled. You were saying that real devotion only comes when I live in my Swarup, and otherwise it's only external. So why I'm practicing then all these years? Like why I'm practicing devotional life? If please help me. Help us.
Not long, shortcut. Many things to say. One is tattva vichar, one is a rasa vichar. To make rasgulla, there is a philosophy.
Yeah.
There is a rule to make that milk, you have to take this much sugar and this, that. Is a tattva vichar. And rasa vichar, take the rasgulla and keep in mouth. And keep it out. And then ask, how is this? He said, he will not say anything. And he will first eat. Say, wonderful. I cannot explain this. You have to eat and taste it.
So good. We are lucky, yes, Gopinath. I was just going to say it. We are so lucky you always have a rasagulla in your mouth, Gurudev.
Yeah.
Jai Ho. Yeah, this comes also now in the text. And I tell you, it's amazing. Just as devotees have spiritual discussions with each other, Ishtagoshti, like we are having now, Ishtagoshti, spiritual discussions. Similarly, the sadhaka should also awaken his desire to have Ishtagoshtis with the Sakis and Manjaris.
Wow.
Tako tadera sate boso tadera kache mahatera vanira shakti ache. Stay with them, sit with them, for the words of the great devotees have great power. The scriptures and the great saints say, yes, Gurudev,
Now
sorry.
we are
Sitting.
We are listening now, not sharing. This is Tattva Vichar.
So how we can go into the Rasagula here on Zoom, Gurudev? Dripping, mouth dripping.
Somebody give in your mouth is more tasteful.
Yeah.
Power is distributing when Rasagula take it in. If you don't ask, he will give you.
Wow.
And if
Force.
by force giving him the
Yes, we hope, Gurudev, one of these days when there's these millions questions and millions of things, before I can say something, you will just put the Rasagula here. There's nothing to ask anymore. And that is the point, Gurudev, what you always say to us. The scriptures and the great saints, they say that when the devotee's devotion ripens, he can see his beloved deity in all the moving and non-moving creatures.
This is the point. We need it. This is much. What is not happening, it will start happening. This is much. Before I cannot see inside you that you are living or not. But now what you do, I don't know. That in the living and non-living entity, I start looking to you.
Oh.
That's the point.
Now they are telling Poland story, then I think this is all Radha Krishna Leela there. When Gaura Sundara is talking on that Poland, I say, wow, Radha Krishna is playing here also. Jit dekho tit sham mein. Where I see everywhere Priya Pritam Leela is happening. This is Kripa of Ishtadev.
Kripa of Swami, Gurudev.
This is the navigation of Gurudev that it opened my Chakshudan Diloje, my divine eyes. Hridaya Divyagyan Hridaya Prakashita. I can see you, and I can see not only in you, I can see everywhere to you. In every talk I see you. Every word is for you. Every behavior is for you. Every place I see you. Vishambharai, everywhere. In any molecules and part and partial, I can see every place to you. I don't know what is a madness or what, I don't know, but it's happening. What to do?
Radhe Radhe, Gurudev, Jai Ho.
Jai Nitya.
There are so many things I cannot digest that. Everyone brings so beautiful thoughts. I want to stay with one of them and meditate, but then someone else again brings something nice. So it's really difficult to digest this high katha. But I'm very grateful that Gurudev mentioned just now again the pollen. And actually, already yesterday in the lecture when we spoke about this pollen, it came to me. And then Gaurasunda again, he spoke about that. And I was thinking that the pollen actually is the cling in the Diksha mantra.
Wow.
Like cling the pollen on my head.
Cling the pollen on my head.
Everything is there. So
True.
that was just what came to my mind, and I only shortly wanted to share.
Wow.
But Chandra, now the pollen also became the string.
Also that, yes.
Where this cling is coming from? Who is giving this cling? Gurudev is giving this cling.
Jai
He is the
Gurudev.
mercy. He is giving this pollen. So beautiful. And with this cling, our flower can start become a ripe fruit. It takes time. Not come immediately. Like it takes 1 year, half year from the moment the bee gives the pollen to the flower, then the ripe fruit comes in autumn. So it is the same with us. We get Gurudev's cling. It's so beautiful, Gaurachandra.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow.
And the bee is going to the flower to shake the pollen. It's not going to the bud, to the manjari, but from the flower, the pollen also, by shaking, coming to me. Jai Ho, Jai Gurudev, Arigato Goswami.
How deep we can go with a small part of a verse, right?
You describe everything very deep, my dear. When you start talking about this was very deep, everything
Wow.
today.
Gurudev many times speak about to listen. And I think it is very important to listen properly this holy verses, so that we can go deep inside.
The pure devotees see only Sri Krishna or Sri Radha Mohan when
Yes,
he looks at. Yes?
Pure devotee is these words are every time is fresh and new. I'm surprised I never listened before. When I listen again and again, I see that I never listen. It's from where it's coming. And so many times I listen these words, but every time is new. It is surprising. These are the golden words. Every time, how many times you will repeat, new feelings, a new realization will come. Show me any other book like this.
Temple of Love.
But this is your realizations, Gurudev. These are already the pollen. Gopinath.
Yes.
No, this cannot, I can use collect from others. And
You change it.
No,
Suniti.
Gurudev.
I don't believe when I listen that. I say there is a Suniti collect from other quotation and I do.
So while you were traveling this 20 years, you were spreading the pollen. But it takes time, as Gaurasundar said. Took time for us to catch it. But the fragrance already gave to us.
And we know that you like the cherries, Gurudev. We want to become big cherries that you can offer to Swamini.
I don't know. I know nothing knows. I see this. I have to learn many things. I am not talking because I am learning again from all of you. It's surprising. It's increased my feelings by listening.
And I only hope that you interrupt us all the time.
Now I can feel that if you are with us, Gurudev, and we are together, then a miracle starts and Swamini comes in the center. In that time we speak about this. She is here, and because of this we are so much inspired. Because she is in our heart, we give space to her in this. So this is the beauty of this Sangha.
So the pure devotee sees only Sri Radha Mohan when he looks at the moving and non-moving entities. He sees the moving and non-moving beings, but he does not see their forms. Everywhere he perceives his beloved deity. I want to share one very recent example of this. This was so sweet. We were sitting with you, Gurudev, in your room, and I'm sorry it was me, but one devotee said, "Oh, Suniti, you have such a nice earrings matching your dress," or something like that. And then, Gurudev, you look and you said, whatever she is wearing is not that the earrings will make the dress beautiful, but she makes them beautiful. So you saw Radhika and you give this immediate, that all the ornaments that she is wearing, she gives the beauty to the ornaments. So that was the perfect example again. And you remind me of Srimati Radhika, that everywhere you look, everything you hear, every person that comes in your room, you are seeing a Dasi, and you're feeling as a Dasi of Srimati Radhika. Sorry for this, Gurudev. I know you don't like it so much, but it was very sweet. He who sees only his worshipable Lord in all the living entities, and who sees all the living entities in his worshipable Lord, is the greatest devotee. And devotion makes the Lord perceivable through all the devotee's senses. This is the greatness of devotion. So again, if we remember who is devotion, it's Srimati Radhika, it's the Svarup Shakti. She is actually the one that open our vision, Gurudev, and that comes, through all the channels of the devotees, of the Vaishnavas, of Guru Parampara, and that's all her doing, because she is the origin of all Guru Tattva.
I would like to say something to Gopinath said. This was a nice, Gopinath wanted to bring out Gurudev's nectar. Gopinath's question, why I am doing this then, this external bhakti, external bhajan. But I want to say, Gopinath, that many, many times people have been asking me and every one of us, what is the use of your Siddha Pranali? What is the use? You have not realized it. What is the use? So the use is very big, because externally it's seen that we start with sadhana bhakti, and then bhava bhakti, and then prema bhakti. So my response is always the same, and this is so encouraging and hopeful. Without knowing the Swarup, without knowing who we really are, there is no question from coming from sadhana bhakti to bhava bhakti. Without Siddha Pranali, this is not possible. So even to know the information we have been given by Gurudev, the Ekadash Bhav, the name, the form, the seva, and even if we have not realized it now, like Gurudev said, it will take time. But this little detail, this abhiman, this possibility to identify ourselves with this Svarup is, like Gurudev said, a shortcut. For those who don't know this, it's not possible to come from sadhana bhakti to bhava bhakti, because to come to bhava bhakti, we have to know our path. How else we can come from sadhana bhakti to bhava bhakti? What to speak of prema bhakti? So without knowing ourselves, our true Svarup, there is no way of coming to bhava bhakti. It's no way. So this gives so much hope. And if it takes one life or two lives, this gives hope. We have now the identity card for entering, like Yugal Kishore always said. We have now been giving the visa for the spiritual world. We have now the entrance card to go into the spiritual world. And it's up to us to use this card and to endeavor for this card. But this is giving so much hope. It's a very big difference to do bhakti with this card than without this card.
Tarun Bhaiya, Thank you. I think this was so wonderful now. And immediately this scene comes to my mind that Gurudev gives us the Rasgulla in the hand. And what we do, we start looking at it,
Yeah.
I look at color.
Yeah.
I look at the consistency. Oh,
what is inside? What is inside?
I start thinking, then I put it in a donut and
Is it good for me? Is it good for me?
Yeah, I put it in the fridge. Maybe I'll take it tomorrow, or I can taste it.
Yeah.
What he has given us. And the other thing is, Tarun, what you said, this visa, this lifelong visa which we got. Like we know the address, we know our home, we know our job there. We know our uniform. Like we have every detail is given to us. No. We just have to apply it. The Gurudev always calls it applied science.
Yeah. Sometimes, it's very easy to say, but sometimes, we are, like Gurudev is saying, we play too much ping pong, we play too much with the material energy. When you play too much with the material energy, you lose the perception of the importance of the visa. So that is the danger. That is the danger. If we lose that, we occupy ourselves too much with the material energy, we lose the focus on the visa, So that is the point. We play too much. We look at the Rasgulla and we think, yeah, Rasgulla is fine. I will eat a Hanuta first, That is the difference.
So I have the visa, but who will give me the entry stamp?
Who will stamp us?
Who will mark us?
Actually, sadhana bhakti also in raga bhakti. One is a Vaidhi bhakti sadhana, and one is a raga bhakti sadhana. So our meditation is also sadhana. Our smaran is also sadhana. Our dhruva smriti is also sadhana. It's also sadhana. Thinking always, dreaming also is a sadhana.
Cooking is also.
Everything will be in sadhana. Sadhana bhakti. This is raga bhakti, sadhana bhakti. In raga bhakti, there is a sadhana. My mind where goes, that is my sadhana.
Yes.
And how to mind to keep in this sadhana, that is the sadhana bhakti. That is the point. When raga bhakti, when we do the sadhana, when my mind is totally one-pointedness to summoning, and I'm only thinking that, not touching material energy to me. That is asmaran. Asmaran means normal thinking. We have to watchful to our normal thinking, what my mind is doing with me. That is sadhana. Where mind is going, it should go that way. Then I will achieve. This is not a sadhana. I can dream. What I will dream, where his mind is going. Then how it will be 24/7? It's all mind. Where the mind goes, I am in that sadhana. Baba clearly explained, is a mental religion. Why mental religion? I was very doubtful when I listened, mental religion? Yes, it's a mental religion. One day can come to me, yes. Where is mind going? Where is the attachment of my mind? That is my sadhana. Check this. Then, what you say this? First, mind is going. What is that? Smaran. What you thinking? What is mind is happening? How much time I give for that? Where I am putting my mind? And then, what I dharan, what I cover myself, I think that. Right or not?
So, Gurudev, if I think about my name, my form,
My clothes that I dharan, I wear it. That I think. That is what you say? Our no. That is my sadhana bhakti.
Yeah.
Sadhana is all mental religion, my dear. Mind has to be bringing in one pointedness. Dhyan, dhyan, dharan, dhruva smriti. One pointed. Dhyan, then dhruva smriti. You start from asmaran. What is happening in my mind? What I am moving? Which place? In which consciousness? Radhe.
Radhe. Oh my God.
What?
Gurudev,
Joining us, Gurudev.
Yeah.
Gurudev, I am so thankful that you made this point, this very wonderful point, because many, many years, everyone, this was the first thing I learned when I met Baba, that Raganuga Bhakti, many people say that Raganuga Bhakti starts at Bhava Bhakti, but this is, like you said, very wrong. Raganuga Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti both start with Sadhana Bhakti. So Raganuga Bhakti has Sadhana Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti has Sadhana Bhakti. But the moment you decide to attain Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan, at that moment, Rupa Goswami is saying you perform Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. Thank you so much.
One is Vaidhi Bhakti, one is Sadhan Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is different.
Yes.
Sadhan Bhakti, I am talking what Baba says.
Yes.
Baba is telling that Sadhan Bhakti is our mental religion.
Yes.
Only we have to balance our mind. Where is going? Asmaran, then dhyan. Careful in dhyan. Dharan. I don't remember this very nicely he explained. Varan. I varan it, then I will be different dhyan. My sarup varan, if I am there, my dhyan is different. Dhruva smriti is also different. And then it goes up to samadhi. That samadhi stage is very rag and rag. But I say you, even Rasik also, they say they are sadhak. But when sadhaka, they are doing Vaidhi sadhana, no, sadhana. This sadhana is balancing their smaran to be 24/7, even to bring in the dream. Thank you.
Jai Radhe. If you allow me, Gopinath, you want to add something?
Huh?
You want to add something?
No. I'm full.
You're full. So we have a few minutes left, and I want to ask your permission to go into the Leela Smaran of this verse also with Tulasi Manjari. It is the last part of the purport, and it's so full of nectar, I cannot explain it to you. If you allow me, I will read it. Tulasi has finished combing Radhika's hair and sits down on her knees behind her now to braid it with loving expertise. She sits behind Swamini, but she strongly desires to see her beautiful face. That's why she calls her Goshtendra Shunudaite, O beloved of the Prince of Braj. This address is full of secrets. How many emotions can be known through this address? Swamini is Krishna's Bhavamoy, full of love for him, and the Kinkaris are Radhika's Bhavamoy, Swamini's Bhavamoy, full of love for her. Srimati loves Sri Krishna, and the maidservants love Srimati. Tulasi maddens Swamini by awakening the remembrance in her of one of her sweet sports with Mohan. The word Goshtendra Sunudaite can mean you are the beloved of the Prince of Braj, or the Prince of Braj is your beloved. And this shows their mutual love. Tulasi says, at the end of your pastimes in the Kunj, Shyam is making your braid with his own hands, and you also put his crown on. Or sometimes, out of deep love, you may reverse roles, and Shyam may think himself to be you, and you think of yourself as him. And then he will put his crown on your head, and you will lovingly braid his hair. Can I also serve you so expertly and lovingly as Shyam does? I am your poor, unqualified maidservant. Be so merciful to give me that service. That is my desire. When Swamini hears herself being called the beloved of the Prince of Braj, she is overwhelmed and thinks that it is Shyam who makes her braid instead of Tulasi Manjari. She keeps her eyes half closed while she relishes that thought and feeling, like a bee falling into the nectar of a blue lotus flower. Blessed is Tulasi. Blessed is her service. With one address, she manages to crystallize the Leela Ras and submerge Swamini in relishing that savor. The practicing devotee should try to remember these sweet pastimes every day. When the Svarup Avesh remains, it means it's stay. Maya has no chance to contaminate the devotee's mind. All of Maya's disturbances are caused by bodily consciousness. Narmada, the florist's daughter, makes beautiful small garlands with fragrant juti and camellia flowers for Tulasi to bake a braid with. What a beautiful handicraft. Just as Tulasi stretches out her hand to do the work, the spiritual vision disappears, and she cries and laments out of disappointment. When can this fallen soul lovingly make your braid with small garlands that were strung by Narmada? So I just love this when Baba is making these beautiful pictures of the Leela, painting the Leela from his heart, from Raghunath Das Goswami's heart, for us to enter. And as you were mentioning many times, Gurudev, the first word or the first sentence of a verse is like a hint to go, deeper. And what is the first sentence? O beloved of the Prince of Braj. That sounds so ordinary, but it's one of the deepest things that Tulasi said to Swamini that overwhelmed her with her feelings of, feeling togetherness with her beloved again. And the Kinkaris, like Baba explained, they love Srimati Radhika so much that they have this intention. They do it with their love, that they say this to Swamini. You are the beloved of the Prince of Braj. And this is not just like a nice compliment. It is crystallizing the last meeting in her heart. And when she is feeling that, then she becomes so happy. She becomes so deeply touched and in meditation. And she will remember all the pastimes again. And that is actually the service that a maidservant does. She will say things and do things in such a way that Swamini is reminded of Shyam, of her Mohan. Because the maidservant's not only speaking in this way, O beloved of the Prince of Braj, but she's also, touching her, making her break in such a way that Swamini, at one point, she is so much absorbed in her samadhi and in her meeting. For her, it is her beloved who is braiding her hair now. And these are the most beautiful emotions that the Kinkari's service is to arise them in Swamini, and she is fulfilled by that. When she can make Swamini happy like that and remind her of her Mohan. And do you remember what the beloved Prince of Braj, how he was braiding your hair? O beloved of the Prince of Braj, when will this person, after washing your lotus feet, lovingly braid your hair with the beautiful fine garlands made by the florist girl Narmada? Radhe Radhe Go